So today I wanted to finish up this corner that we have in this particular part of our modern city. It's not a very big building, but it does have a slight diagonal in the front. So it's still a pretty interesting shape to get into, but I wanted to try to kind of do a play along and explain my thought process through building one of these. I got a couple of examples over here to the side, or even these ones over here, and just kind of explain how I, you know, take this and turn it into something like that. So I don't have too many materials, and I have a pretty weird color palette that I'm doing here. I'm going to do some white terracotta, some smooth stone, and some pale oak. I have no idea if these blocks look good together, but that's just kind of how a lot of these go, is I just choose random blocks and kind of hope it looks good. But I'm sure we'll be able to get something going, and let's get into it. So the first thing that I usually do when I'm working on one of these is get the first layer built up. Um, it doesn't have to be perfect by any means, but as long as I have a visual of where I want windows, and just the overall shape of the building, it makes doing the rest of it a lot easier. Um, Usually after this, I'll go through and I'll do some rough um, window trims. So I'll scrounge around with what I have and I'll just throw down a couple designs and I'll keep messing with it until I like it. And then once I get the second layer built up, then I'll try to finalize that design and then all I have to do is layer it after that. So I am going to try to get some Windows designs. So I didn't get too much done on this, and I didn't really change out any other designs. But my thought through this is, I mean, this one doesn't necessarily need to be fully detailed on the bottom like a lot of these. Um, I could actually switch the design up for the second floor, much like I did with this building. So for this one, the first floor is a bit more bare, and then the second layers and onward get a bit more detail on those layers. So I think I'm going to try to keep it simple for this first floor. Um, Hopefully I get some other ideas, make it look a little bit nicer. But I'm going to go ahead and start the second layer. And how I'll do my second layers is I usually, like from this point on, right here, I'll usually add two more blocks, like of a solid line. That'll allow me to, once again, we can use this building as an example. With enough space in between the floors, it allows you to do a window design on the bottom part of the window versus if it's just one block in between layers, then you're not going to have the space to do a individual window design for each floor. So typically now when I'm doing buildings, there's usually at minimum 2 blocks in between each floor. This one's 3, and I mean, you could really keep going with it, but I think 2 to 3 is about the sweet spot for, continuing a design and making sure that all the windows have a good design on the top and the bottom. So that's what we're going to do right here. So here is our second layer design. As you can see, I have left some space for the bottom side of the window, and then I will do the same for the top once we do the top floor. But now all I have to do is go through and I think I'm gonna make a new design. So I'm not too keen on layering this bottom design for the top floors. I think it'd look a little bit nicer if the bottom floor was kept simple as is, and doing a bit different design for the second layer. So again, may get it first try and be alright with it, may mess with a few things and try to get the shape that I want. Yeah, we're going to go through and we're going to try to make bottom window seals, window designs, whatever it be, and then we'll do the top, and then we'll layer it up, finish the last layer, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, and here's what we're working with on the second layer. Definitely a lot nicer than the first layer, which makes me kind of want to redo mainly this specific part of the bottom floor. I think the rest of it is fine, being the way it is, but I feel like maybe this centerpiece right here can get a little redesign. But as of right now, I think this is perfectly fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the backside and then build up the third layer and copy all this over again. And there we go. Got the top floor done, and I went ahead and added the last little bit of trim, which I'm keeping, that smooth stone from the bottom, and that's what I use for the top trim of the building. This is just bare bones shell. There's nothing inside, no windows, no roof. But I figured I could make a little video kind of going over how I do this or any of these, and kind of show examples of different ways to outline windows and give more depth to your buildings. This one does look relatively similar to the one next to it. Wasn't really intended, but I'm still learning how to build on diagonals as well, so I'm sure over time I'll definitely get better at doing these diagonals and making the shape look a little nicer. But for now, I like this. I'm happy with it, and I hope if you watch this you learned something yourself, and feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.